Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about something that's honestly a make or break skill for any business owner: how to actually review a contract so you can protect yourself and your company.
All right, so picture this. A new contract lands on your desk. Maybe it's for a new supplier, a big partnership, whatever. And that little voice in your head is just screaming, "Sign it, get back to work." But hold on. Before you even think about picking up that pen, we've got to talk about what's actually hiding inside that document. And look, I'm not being dramatic here. Imagine some tiny little clause buried on page 17 says your new partner owns all the intellectual property you create while working with them. Poof, just like that, your big idea, not yours anymore. So yeah, let's dive in and figure out how to spot these landmines before they go off.
Okay, first things first. Let's get real about what's on the line here. What actually happens if you just, give it a quick skim and sign on the dotted line? What's the worst that could happen, right?
And the scary part is how easy this stuff is to miss. A hidden liability sounds vague, but it could be a single sentence that makes you responsible if your vendor has a data breach. Crazy, right? Unfair terms could just be a tiny note saying they can change the price on you with only a day's notice. And legal noncompliance? Well, if your contract breaks the law, it's pretty much useless when you actually need it to protect you.
So, how do you fight back against all this? Well, it all starts with building your first line of defense.
You see, a real contract review isn't just a quick scan. It's a deep dive. You're going through it line by line, making sure the deal is fair, the words are crystal clear, and it actually helps you get what you want. This is your one shot to catch all that weird, vague language and those one-sided clauses before they become a massive, legally binding headache.
Okay, but let's be realistic. Even with the best review in the world, sometimes things go wrong. People disagree. So what then? Let's talk about a super smart strategy you can build right into your contracts to handle those bumps in the road.
Right, so when there's a problem, most of us immediately think lawyers, court, big legal battle. But what if I told you there's a much better, much less painful first step, and it's something you can bake right into the contract from day one?
And that's the key thing to understand about mediation. It's not about fighting, it's about talking. You've got this neutral third party, the mediator, whose only job is to help you both communicate. They don't pick a winner, they don't decide anything, they just help you find a solution that you both can live with. You're still in control.
And when you look at it side by side, wow, the advantages are huge. We're talking cheaper, faster, and it's all private, so your business disputes don't end up in public records. You stay in the driver's seat, deciding the outcome. And maybe the biggest win of all? It can actually save your business relationship, something a big court battle almost always destroys. All right, so now you've got the strategy. Do a deep dive review and stick a mediation clause in there. Now let's get you a field guide. We're going to go hunting for red flags and potential traps in your next contract. Okay, these 4 clauses right here, they're basically the spine of any contract. You've got to nail these. Don't just read them, interrogate them. For payment terms, ask, is it totally clear how and when I get paid? For termination, ask, is there a fair way out for both of us if things go south? Confidentiality, what exactly are we agreeing to keep secret? And intellectual property, this is the big one, who owns the stuff we create together?
And here's something you can't forget. For a contract to be worth the paper it's printed on, it has to be legally enforceable. That means it needs these basic building blocks. The language has to be clear, not mushy. What you're agreeing to has to be legal, obviously, and it's got to be signed by the right people, someone with the actual authority to make that promise on behalf of their company.
Okay, now these are the giant, flashing red lights you need to look for. If you see vague words like best efforts, that's just an argument waiting to happen. Unlimited liability? No way. That could mean your personal assets are at risk for their screw-up. And those automatic renewals that sneak up on you? Total trap. If you spot any of this stuff, just stop. Hit the brakes. It's time to ask some hard questions and start negotiating.
Honestly, avoiding these simple pitfalls is like giving yourself a business superpower. That fine print everyone jokes about, that's where the nasty surprises live. And signing a contract with blank spaces, you might as well just hand over a blank check. Seriously, don't do it. If you don't understand something, make them rewrite it until you do. It's their job. And please, track those key dates. A missed deadline can cost you a fortune.
All right, let's pull all of this together. What's the one big strategy you can walk away with and use for every single contract from now on?
So here it is, the key takeaway. Being proactive before you sign is everything. It's the best thing you can do to protect your business's future. You do a thorough review to catch the problems, and you add a mediation first clause as your safety net. You do those two things, and suddenly that contract isn't a liability waiting to happen, it's a genuine asset for your business.
So that's the question you've got to ask yourself every single time a new contract hits your desk. Is this thing an asset or is it a liability? The power to decide that is all yours. And it starts the second you decide to stop just signing and you actually start reading.